And now it's time for the Sports Kings from Queens.
Welcome back, sports fans. Today is Wednesday, October 30th. Happy Halloween, everyone. Welcome to the Sports Kings from Queens. This is episode 135. I'm Gino, joined by Kevin and Darren. You can catch us wherever you get your podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, follow us on Facebook, follow us on YouTube. And by the way, subscribe to our Instagram feed now. You're going to see clips that we're going to post all the time. We'd love to hear from you. Feel free to leave us questions, comments. We'll be sure to respond to you. Thanks for tuning in. We're going to get it started. We got a lot of sports going on. World Series Game 5 being played as we speak. During the fourth inning, Yankees up 5-0. NFL, 8 weeks are done. College football starting to come down the stretch. NBA, NHL just getting it going. We're going to start it with the World Series. Game 5 right now. Yankees are up 5-0 in the fourth. They're currently down 3-1 going into tonight. We'll talk about each of these games. Game 1, Yankees wind up losing 6-3 in 10 innings. This was a tight game. 2-1 Yanks through 7. Dodgers scored a tie in the 8th. Yankees score 1 in the 10th. They take the lead. Then Freddie Freeman with the bases loaded hits a walk-off grand slam. Flaherty matched Cole in a pitching duel through 7. I got some issues, but let's talk it through. Darren, game 1.
A few issues, okay? Both Boone and Roberts I thought were horrible, but I do think that both of them are two of the worst managers in baseball, to be perfectly honest with you. So you're watching it. Cole was great. He gave you everything you hoped for, right? I mean, gave up the 1 run, but he was really good. I was a little upset when they pulled him at the 88 pitch mark. I thought that they could have kept him in there a little bit longer. That was my first critique of Boone. He gets one guy on, and all of a sudden, the first thing he does is he pulls him. G?
And listen, they're up 2-1. It's a single. It's not like it's a blast. It's a single. He's only given up three hits and 1 earned run, and that was a sac fly on a Teoscar Hernandez trip. It was a sac fly after the triple from Teoscar Hernandez. That's his only run of the game.
Which should have been a double.
The misplayed ball as it was. Soto blew the ball. If Soto plays it like normally, it's a double.
It's a double.
You know, he's not getting hit around. He gave up a single in the 7th, and they had to pull him right away. So go ahead. I'm sorry, Darren. Keep going.
I agree. So he pulls him right away, which I didn't like, right? And then Ohtani doubles, gets the third off Canely off the error by Torres, who's just lackadaisically not making the play. He should be on second. And again, the same problem with the freaking sac fly. Neither of these runs are the fault of Cole or Canely, to be honest with you. It's just bad angles by Soto and a little nonchalantness by Torres, which we've seen this entire career. It's not a surprise. It just is what it is. So he hits the sac fly to tie. Judge pops up with 2 on, 2 out in the 9th, where they have a chance to kind of take the lead. But then they take the lead in the 10th. They come back, like you said. Chisholm gets a single, steal second, third, steals third. It was the Chisholm run. Did the whole thing. Scores on the fielder's choice by Volpe, right? Take the 3-2 lead. Wells strikes out with second and third, but Wells had been striking out every time he'd been up in the last, every game of the playoffs so far. And at that point, Weaver's got 19 pitches. And at that point, he pulls Weaver. What are you saving him for? You're trying to get a split in L.A., you freaking moron. You're not trying to sit there and save him for game 2. You can't worry about game 2. You worry about game 1. And you pull him for Cousins? For Cousins, who, listen, nice story in the 5th inning in a close game, down a run or 2. He can't come in with the lead in the 10th. I couldn't believe myself. And then, of course, 1 out, Lux walks. Edman gets the infield single. So they go to Nestor over Hill. Now, I happened to be on the side of Nestor at the time. So everybody that was mad about it can come down on me. I thought Nestor was the right move for a reason. I'm going to tell you why. And then, Gino, I want you to jump in because I know you were against it. Nestor had been really good against Ohtani. He was 2 for 11, I think, against him. And he reminds me a little bit of Minaya in the way he hides the ball. And now I was more afraid of Ohtani than Betts. So, and I also like Nestor against Betts better than Hill against Betts because I think Betts just sees it so much more. The problem is that even though He gets the out on Ohtani. Verdugo makes a great play. He falls over the outfield fence.
Well, that
So
2-foot
everyone that
wall.
moves up, it wasn't his fault. It's a low wall. He made a great catch. So now it's second and third, and I would have pitched to Betts, but they walked him to pitch to Freeman, and I get why, because lefty versus lefty. But in that matchup, I would have rather Hill, but now you only face two guys, so you can't do it. I would love Hill against Freeman, and I like Nestor against the other two. Gino, I understand why you'd be against it, but that's where my mind was thinking. So I did like the idea of Nestor going in before the Grand Slam. But go ahead, talk about it.
He hasn't pitched in 6 weeks. This isn't the spot I want to use him, but I don't want him in that spot. Hill has pitched well. He's pitched well in the playoffs. Yeah. He's thrown the ball well. He's in these spots the last week and a half. Cortez hasn't thrown to a live batter in 6 weeks, okay? And by the way, if you're bringing Hill, the lefty, in, this is the spot to bring him in for. It's the lefty Ohtani, okay, it's the righty Betts, but then it's the lefty Freeman. This is the spot. If you were picking the spot, this is it. And I listen, I get that Cortez is a lefty, but this is the spot you were saving Hill for the whole damn game. You got the spot, and you don't go to him. And listen, we could have had the same results. Don't get me wrong. You know, it could have been Hill that grooved one and Freeman blasted it. But, you know, that's why you're saving him for that spot, exactly that spot. I also don't like Cortez coming in after not pitching for 6 weeks against those three hitters, because you're putting him in against, you know, three of the top hitters in the game to start. You haven't pitched in 6 weeks. Oh, here, come in and face Ohtani, Betts, Freeman. Go through those three for me, please. You know, I don't like it.
Kev?
I understand what Girardi did. You know, I'm in the same boat that...
You mean Boone, by the way.
I mean Boone. Girardi. Jeez, I'm really...
Kev, you're dating yourself.
Another wonderful Yankee manager there. I understand what Boone did. I see Gino's point about Cortez not pitching for 6 weeks, but I'm of the opinion that if, you know, it's funny, they almost got hurt by Verdugo. I think it was the throw from the stands that moved the runners up.
No, it's not.
I think once you fall in, I think they automatically get the base. I believe that's the case.
I wasn't sure if it was once you went in and threw the ball from the stands, then it was the automatic base. Okay.
Once you leave the field to play, that's the actual rule. Then everybody moves up.
Okay.
And you can't blame Verdugo, by the way, because it was just a good play.
You've got to make the play. You crash into a wall that's up to your knees. I mean, anybody's going to fall in at that point. The fact that he didn't kill himself getting in there is unbelievable. I would have been out months with 2 broken knees.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no. It's a great thing to make the catch itself.
But it almost hurt because then you had first base open. Then you know you're automatically going to walk Betts to load him up to get the lefty versus lefty. If Ohtani had popped out and if it was in the field of play and you're pitching 2 Betts, I'm of the opinion that I'd rather have Nestor, even off the 6 weeks of not pitching, I'd rather have Nestor against Betts than Hill against Betts and that side armor coming into the right-handed batter. That's just a personal opinion. I think it's better angle for Betts. I think Cortez has a better chance of getting Betts out, but once the first base is open, you walk him. And you know what? You've got to walk him because we saw Freddie Freeman against the Mets barely able to move. I don't know what happened in the 4 or 5 days that they had off. He found some wonderful drug that healed up his ankles, and he grooved one and crushed it. You know, I think the problem came earlier. You know, it was lifting Cole after 6 and burning through. You know, Holmes got 2 outs, and Canley only got 2 outs, and he asked Weaver for an inning 2/3 that you set up where the 10th inning. No, Weaver threw 19 pitches.
Kev,
it's not like he had thrown 30 that you want to take him out. He had thrown 19 pitches. Leave him in there to start the 10th.
I know these guys like to go to the bullpen and they like certain guys in certain spots, but Cole threw 88 pitches. They couldn't wait to get him out.
Yeah.
Holmes threw, by the way, 5 pitches. Canley, 8 pitches.
Why?
They're not even throwing pitches.
Yeah.
And it made no sense. It really didn't. And the thing is, Gino, and again, the only other point I'll make is that if they were starting the inning against those three, I would have agreed with you with Hill.
Okay.
Because the runners were on, I went with Court. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
I didn't like, but but listen, doesn't matter. What I liked didn't work, so he did what I liked, and obviously I'm as good a manager as Aaron Boone.
All right. Once he got to the 10th, I understood, and I could see Boone's logic in all the moves he made once he made the decision to start the 10th with Cousins. It's leading up to that, pulling Cole at 88 pitches, burning through Holmes and Canley so quickly, and then not letting Weaver, with only 19 pitches, start the 10th inning. That's where I think Boone screwed up.
And Kev, Weaver at 19 pitches, once you put Weaver in that game, Canley's now only throwing 8 pitches. You could use Canley the next day.
Oh, Canley's got a good inning plus the next day.
Yeah,
Holmes has an inning plus.
I mean, it's not like if Weaver wind up throwing 35 pitches that you don't have somebody the next day. Canley only threw 8 pitches. He's good the next day. Holmes threw 5 pitches. He's good the next day.
Yeah.
To me, it made no sense. But these guys love going through their bullpens. They love going through their bullpens.
They do.
And it literally made. I just don't like the way. I mean, listen, you're going to LA for the split. Okay, you're going to win game 1. That's it. Weaver's your best lead. And at that point, with the 1-run lead, the only other guy that's warming up in the pen, like you said, Gino, is Hill. Because if you need to sit there and get 1 out in a big spot, you don't have to go 3 batters if you need 1 out in a big spot. Then you go to Hill. If for some reason Weaver falters, it's Hill. Cousins shouldn't see the light of day with a 1-run lead in the 10th.
Never.
I'm not trying to insult Cousins. He had his moments during the season. But enough of the crap. And while we're at just questionable plays, so the Dodgers, okay, Holmes comes in. I know he only threw 5 pitches. His first 2 balls way out of the zone. He hit what's his name in the 3rd pitch, right?
Mm-hmm.
So all of a sudden they have 2 on and nobody out.
Yeah.
And he has Hernandez, who's a hot hitter, who's a clutch hitter, bunting on the first pitch. Are you kidding me? Take a strike. Let that guy swing the bat. What, you trying to let him up for Will Smith? How dumb are you? The guy can't even find the zone. And he bailed us out. He bailed the Yankees out.
Kike becomes Manny Ramirez in the freaking postseason.
It should be Stanton
His
versus
home run
Kike
rate
in a home run derby
is-
in the playoffs.
His
That's
home
what it
run
should
rate
be.
is the
Probably
same as
hasn't run
Manny
that good.
Ramirez.
It's unbelievable.
And so he takes the bat out of his clutch hitter's hands right away. And all of a sudden, his first pitch, he just showed you can't find the zone. What are you doing? You're so nervous to get a run. My God, you don't need to bunt him there. The guy's a god. He hits everything. Let him swing away. So Roberts he's better than Boone in this game a little bit because Boone had about 4 questionable things. But my God, these guys suck. I don't know. And then, of course, Cortez throws an inside fastball, misses the spot, and Freeman deposits it. And what reminded everybody of Kirk Gibson in game 1 against Eckersley, just because you have a hobbling first baseman or a hobbling pinch hitter off the bench that just hits the dramatic home run. Now, I will not call Nestor Cortez Dennis Eckersley anytime soon, but at the same time, it just had that feeling like, oh, my God, we just gave away game 1.
Yep.
And it pissed me off so much. Jake?
All right, so Yankees are down 1-0 at that point. Game 2, Yankees lose 4-2. Yamamoto is dominant. 6 1/3. He gave up 1 hit, 1 earned run, and the earned run was a solo shot by Soto. He struck out for a walking 2. Rodon was pulled after 3 1/3. He gave up 4 earned runs on 6 hits. 3 of them were home runs. He threw 63 pitches. The only thing that you wind up taking away from that game was they got to Trinan in the 9th. He gave up 3 hits, an earned run. He threw 33 pitches, and wasn't allowing him to close the door. They had to go to Vesia to get the last out. I don't know if that winds up coming back to bite them at that point, that we've already gotten to Trinan, but that was the only thing you could really take out of that. Yankees down 2-0 at that point. Any game 2 comments, guys?
Absolutely. Okay, so the moron twins of Cashman and Boone follow everything by the goddamn computer. Yet for some reason, the fact that Rodon does not pitch well on the road never sinks in. Never sinks in. He should be pitching game 3. He should not be pitching game 2. I'm sorry. You two idiots follow everything to the percentage point of why somebody has to play and somebody doesn't. But this one you can't see. This one has no chance of being seen. So now you start a guy on the road who hasn't pitched well on the road all freaking year. And then this is what you get. You fall behind 4-1 because he can't even give you the 3 innings. The solo home run by Soto. But then we get to the 9th. And like you said with Trent, Soto singles. Judge K's, of course, at this time. He can't touch anything. Soto the second on the wild pitch. Stanton singles. Soto scores 4-2. Then Chisholm singles. Rizzo hit by pitch. Bases loaded, 1 out. You have him in trouble. And Volpe looked completely lost. Volpe did not know how to lay off a slider to save his life. He was just throwing him sweepers nowhere near it. And Volpe had no clue what to do with it. And then we go to Trevino. Now, I understand because now they go to the analytics because these two geniuses can't do it with Rodon, but they can do it the fact that Dominguez doesn't hit lefties well. But I know what Jose Trevino is. I want to see what Jason Dominguez is. I know what Jose Trevino is. He's not anything. He's a backup catcher and who can't throw runners out. That's what I know what he is. He can't throw.
Why is
Dominguez bases in the game against him? And
why is Dominguez here, Darren?
Yeah, he's there to he warms the seat and then they move it down. Stanton wants to sit there now. Okay, you move over. I don't know what he's there, Kev. Drives me crazy. So I have a couple comments on game 2, Gino.
My bigger issue in that 9th inning was if you think you're going to have to pinch hit for Wells, you're going to Trevino. Wouldn't you rather have at least Cabrera pinch hitting at that point instead of Trevino? Well, no, let's pinch run Trevino for Rizzo instead of using Dominguez, who's got speed. Put him in as a pinch runner for Rizzo. So at least you have your choice of having Cabrera pinch hitting. I'd rather have Cabrera up there than Trevino.
Did I miss something? Is it Birdie on this line?
No, he did not. When they brought the 13th pitcher up, they kept them off, which once again makes absolutely no sense. He's actually a pretty good defensive first baseman, as he showed in the last series, and he has blazing speed and steals bases. For those of us that do fantasy like the three of us, Birdie is a guy we've all picked up over the years for a guy to get his cheap steals down the stretch because you know he can steal when he gets on. We all know none of us knew what he looked like. We all knew what he was. I'm not saying that we didn't know what he looked like, but you saw him in a random game, but you never knew John Birdie. You just knew the guy can run. First time you saw him, you're like, oh, okay. That's what he looks like.
But you had to make a roster spot for Marcus Stroman.
Who's not going to pitch at all? I mean, if you're saving a guy to pitch when it's 8-2, what are we doing? What are we doing? So, yeah, I had issues with game 2. Anyway, back to you, G.
All right.
And I agree with you, Kev, on the Cabrera thing.
So, down 2-0, we come to game 3, come back to New York. Dodgers wind up winning 4-2. Walker Buehler was dominant. It was 5 innings, 2 hits, 2 walks, 5 Ks. Clark Schmidt was not. He threw 68 pitches, threw 2 2/3, gave up 2 hits, 4 walks, and a home run. The home run was, of course, a home run to Freddie Freeman in the first.
Of course.
Biggest Yankee threat was in the 4th. Judge flied out, Stanton doubled, Chisholm lined out to right, and then Volpe singled to left. The Yankees send Stanton. It's a great throw by Teoscar Hernandez. He nails Stanton at home. It's a great play. I'm not going to take anything away. It's a great play.
You wanted him held, and I wanted him to go. You probably would have been right, but I got you.
The only 2 Yankee runs were a 2-run shot by Verdugo in the 9th off Kopech. Basically, the Yankees were held in check all night. They were off balance. Buehler was just fantastic. He went 5, and then six relief pitchers had to finish the game, who gave up 5 hits in total. Okay. Listen, I didn't think they should have sent Stanton, only because it's the first time you actually started getting men on base against Buehler. You know, it's a base hit. If they hold Stanton, it's 1st and 3rd with 2 outs. It's the first time Buehler's got some doubt going that he's not on fire, that, you know, they have maybe a rally going, something. But listen, and by the way, you had Rizzo coming up next. So, yeah, I don't know. For me, I hated it. I get it.
I liked it.
Got him, but
I'm waving him from home.
Go ahead.
I was waving him too. I was like, you got to send him, even though you know it's Stanton. And the only thing I was afraid of was him getting hurt. I swear to God, every time the guy runs a foot, I think he's getting hurt. okay, a couple issues here in Game 3. All right, it's just a leadoff walk game. I mean, with Schmidt, you lead off walk in the first. Freeman hits the home run. Then you lead off walk in the third, and Betts gets the RBI single. In the sixth, actually, you get one out and then you get the hit by pitch and stolen base by Lux, and then the RBI single for Hernandez. I mean, it wasn't like the Dodgers were hitting the crap out of the ball either. But what Schmidt did is he just put them on. He kept putting them on and kept putting them on. He couldn't find the zone.
Yeah.
It was almost like, and I'm going to say, it's almost like watching the Mets series a little bit in the fact that they couldn't. They're not going to chase bad pitches, and Schmidt it wasn't even that close in a lot of them. He was missing by a little bit more. It wasn't like Quintana, who was missing by, a couple inches. Schmidt was missing by a significant amount. So when you do that, that's what you get. And there were other big spots where in the seventh, I thought was the big spot where the strikeout of Torres on the pitch that was clearly high, that ended the little bit of a drought here. Something magical happened. I'm sure. I'm watching you that Tommy Edman just did something. I'm sure. But they're ahead of me in the game. But the fact of the matter is that Torres struck out on a pitch that was high, and it really kind of ended the momentum a little bit for them until the Verdugo homer in the ninth. It just made it not a shutout.
Yeah.
And Freddie Freeman. So there you go. Oh, it wasn't that? It was a drop by Judge. How do you do that?
Do you have anything on Game 3?
You know what? A little bit of overmanaging again. Yes, Schmidt got knocked out early, but then you're running through towards the end of the game. You're running through Holmes and Canley, and then in a 4-0 game, you're bringing in Weaver to get 2 outs. Why are you bringing Weaver in a 4-0 game that you're losing when you've shown nothing on offense?
And by the way, that's the first game of 3 potential games in a row. So you're going to use him.
Why use him?
You shouldn't.
Yeah.
You shouldn't. Okay. Boone's just a moron.
All right. So 3 games. So Dodgers are up 3-0 in the series. Last night, Game 4. Yankees wind up winning this 11-4. Dodgers jump out to a 2-0 lead in the first. Freeman's 4th homer in the series. 6th World Series home run in a game in a row. Yankees get a run in the bottom of the second, and then in the third, Volpe hits a grand slam to put the Yankees up 5-2. Dodgers wind up scoring 2 more in the 5th. Yankees had 1 in the 6th off the Wells home run. Then in the 8th, the Yankees open up the game. They score 5, which included a 3-run shot by Gleyber Torres. Yankees hit the Dodger bullpen arms in this bullpen game, right? And they got good innings from their own guys. Hill, Holmes, Leiter, Weaver. They didn't even need Weaver to pitch the 9th. Meza came on, finished the game off. Darren, let's talk Game 4.
I'm actually going to start with Kev because we have the same thing, and I've been stealing everything he's going to be saying in the first 3 games. So I'm going to let Kevin touch on Game 4 first.
Hey, Game 4.
I think, unfortunately, you would have loved Hill to be able to go more than 4 innings. Dodgers hit him hard, but the Yankees were able to get the runs. It's the bottom of the lineup actually contributing for the first time in the series. Volpe with a grand slam, Wells with a solo home run. But at that point, it's still only a 6-4 game going to the bottom of the 8th. And the Dodgers have had a bullpen game, and Landon Knack came in and gave the Dodgers 4 terrific innings.
Yeah.
The only thing he gave up was the Wells home run.
Yep.
And then bottom of the 8th, let me wave the white flag. You're down 2 runs. What the hell are you doing, Dave Roberts? You moron.
Yeah.
You're down 6-4. You've got that lineup. Either it's one of 2 things. You bring in the guy to shut down the Yankees in the 8th to keep it 6-4, a bloop and a blast, and it's tied. And in Yankee Stadium, any of those lefties, a shallow fly ball in right field's a home run.
Any of those righties.
And some of those righties, too. And you keep it 6-4. Now you keep Weaver in the game. Now Weaver, who was throwing an inning and change, now he's pitching the 9th inning. Weaver's not available tonight.
Yeah.
I mean, just stupid. Dave Roberts waved the white flag in the bottom of the 8th inning in a 2-run game. To me, you don't need to use Blake Trinan there. Well, where's Kopech?
Oh, they didn't use any of those guys.
Gratterall,
Brashear, none of them got used yesterday.
You saving everybody for Game 5, which may not be needed.
Yeah.
You step on their necks then.
I mean, we saw
You got a
Roberts do it
chance.
against the Mets in Game 5. He let up the gas and forced a Game 6 back in LA. And he's doing the same thing potentially in this series where you let up and you potentially let the team hang around and maybe get another win because, we don't want to step on the neck of somebody.
Yeah.
Ridiculous managing by Dave Roberts there. Keep
And
the game 6-4. And like you said, a bloop and a blast, you're an extra innings.
And it all revolves around the relief pitches. It's all around the who to use when, and nobody has a feel for what they want to do. It's just, the metric say I should do this, and the metric say I do that, and it's crazy. It's really crazy. The way these guys use the bullpen is just nuts.
Yeah,
and I know it was a bullpen game yesterday for them, but still.
But that gave you 4, so it's not like it was a full bullpen game. Kasparius gave you the first 2. Hudson was awful.
Oh, he was awful.
Knack, again, great job. And then you bring in Honeywell to give a 5 in the 8th. That was just
And
stupidity.
you never pull them. They never pull them.
And then they'll pull because at that point, we're done. We'll see a Game 5.
The worst thing that happens is that they go to Canely and not Weaver, and you use both relievers, so you don't have Canely completely fresh for tonight to go extra batters because he's only pitched how many pitches? 8 pitches in the last 2 games.
Yeah,
but instead he takes the entire pressure off Boone.
Yeah,
by allowing
now you can use Tim Mays. Tim Mays gets to throw an inning in the World Series,
and he allows some of the guys that haven't been hitting to get hot.
Yeah,
that's
it. You let guys taste success, like Judge ripping the shot down the line, Soto who had an 0 for going into the at bat. You get all those things going, and what you did, Roberts, was you let the Yankees believe a little bit. Listen, you know what? We have a long way to go here in game 5, and in game 4, just cut it to 3-1. No team in however long, 60 years, 80 years, whatever the hell it is, has extended to even game 6 when you were down 3-0.
Yep.
So it's been forever. I don't know the exact year. I saw the stat and I forgot to write it down. But the fact of the matter is, why give them confidence? You have a chance to step on the neck. You played I'm not saying you go to Trinan either. But you go to Grandisol. You go to Kopech. You go to one of the guys that you can count on a little bit. That's going to keep the game 6-4, maybe even 7-4. At 7-4, you're still thinking Weaver, or you're going Canely. You're not going with anybody else. And the Yankee bullpen, like you said, Gino, was fantastic. There was nothing, they did a great job yesterday. I mean, and the way this game started
was great.
It was 3 games.
He was. He got a big strike out in a big spot and all that stuff. So you sit there, and the way this game started at the 2-run homer by Freeman, because that's what he does. Bottom of the first, 2 on, 1 out. They don't do anything. Okay. Bottom of the second, Volpe doesn't score from the double. I know he just read the way it is, but he ended up scoring. But it's still a stupid play because if he doesn't end up scoring, we're killing him right now. And he had the game of his life last night. The kid actually arrived. In the third, he hits that grand slam against a Hudson that was not good. And you know what? It was huge. Then you look at him at the end of the game, the jersey's filthy. He's made a couple nice defensive plays. He's done a lot of good things. And he takes the picture with Jeter, which is going right on the Volpe family wall because that's his idol. It was kind of a cool moment, right? So he hits the grand slam. But then this is right before that moment. Smoltz makes the comment, Yankees should have more than 1 run by this point. Well, okay. Well, then they got 5 more on, so shut the hell up. And, the inning's not over yet, genius. There's 1 out in the third. And he's sitting there saying, they haven't scored enough. Well, we don't know yet.
Listen, I'm not going to kill it because they got the win. Volpe wound up coming up big. I'm not going to kill it, but he did not get a jump. He doesn't come off second, and I don't know if Wells on that shot could have made it to third. They said that there may have been a chance if Volpe tries to score that he goes to third. Then it's 1 run. The sacrifice fly gets you 2, but at the same time, it's again, don't want to make a big deal about it. 2 innings later, he hits a grand slam. So I'm not making a big deal about it. But at the same time, it's it's just another mental mistake basically from this team. Their base running throughout these playoffs and now the World Series. It's been awful. It's just another one to add to the list. So.
I mean, the whole thing is, you're sitting there and you're watching this, and you guys are ahead of me, and I see head shaking, so I'm not happy to see it. But I saw that, they've made 3 mental errors this entire first inning already. Drop fly ball, a bad throw. And
There's
then
another one.
Rizzo. And it's just like,
one. Yep.
Yeah.
And, so it's just like, it obviously it's just one of those things that's just, just annoying. But the fact of the matter is they start to hit, but then LA chips away. You got Smith who hits hits the home run, cuts it down to 5-3, and then they got it down to 5-4 because Torres can't make a flip from second to short.
Yep.
Pulls Volpe off, and they get the run back, and then the Yankees find a way. So to pull it out in the 8th. But that game was a 1-run game until Wells hits the homer to make it 6-4. The Dodgers were in it. They were fighting the whole way. So I didn't understand what Roberts did there. And that would be my summation of game 4.
All right. So now we get to game 5, which is tonight.
Game 4. As you guys as Yankee fans, what do you think of the 2 Yankee fans in right field with Mookie Betts?
Just stupid. You can't
How
do
can
that.
you do that?
It's disgraceful.
It's just stupid. It's just
There's
ridiculous.
nothing to be said. It's disgraceful.
They're trying to hurt the kid. They're trying to. They could have hurt his arm. They could have broke his arm.
Yeah.
Mookie Betts is. I don't care if he's a classy or non-classy player, but you can't do that. He's a classy kid. He doesn't deserve to have that.
No.
Disgraceful, Kev. No other way around it. Disgraceful.
Too many Yankee fans have the bad name because they're you go to the Bronx or Yankee Stadium where they're bad fans. Yankee fans are good people.
Well, listen.
With a couple of bad apples in there that just
listen.
Stupid.
That's the one I don't want representing me as a Yankee fan. Okay, that's the one I don't want representing.
That's embarrassing. And I know they were suspended for this game, but they're probably going to be able to get back into the stadium next year.
Never be allowed back in the stadium.
They shouldn't be because listen, it's about money, unfortunately, as you know and I know, Kevin. And if these guys have been buying season tickets for the amount of years they've been buying season tickets, they're going to let them.
Yep.
They're going to let them do what they want to do. That's just really what it comes down to.
All right.
It's ridiculous.
So now we get to game 5, which is going on as we speak. Yankees jump out to a lead with 3 runs in the first. It's a Judge 2-run shot, and then Jazz Chisholm with a back-to-back shot. They're up 3-0. They had a run in the second, a run in the third. They're up 5-0. We're in the 5th as we speak right now, and at the moment it's 5-3. They kind of imploded this inning, which is bad.
They're all unearned runs.
Bad
fly ball by Judge, play by Volpe, and then Cole doesn't cover first base for himself.
He's pointing at. I don't know what he's pointing to Rizzo about.
Rizzo can barely move.
I don't care if he thinks Rizzo can make it to first base. You still go to first base.
Yeah. It's your job.
Okay.
And then Freeman hits the soft shot to center, but that's what he does, and there you go.
You make your way to first base as the pitcher, and if you think Rizzo's going to take it, then you stop one step short of the base.
There's nothing hit harder. They've got 3 runs.
And the problem is that their shake.
No fault of Cole.
Their shake is the worst thing I've ever seen. I don't. There's nothing manly about the shake that they do when they get a base hit.
I hated that.
Against the Mets, Yankees doesn't matter. I don't understand the shake. But anyway.
So listen. So the good thing that we've seen so far this game is Judge hit the home run, little boost. Cole before this inning is pitching really well. He's pitching
pitching well this inning too.
I was getting to that. He's still pitching well. He's only given up 3 hits in the 4 2/3 that he's pitched so far.
He's already got 5 outs in the 5th inning here.
I know. He's only thrown 78 pitches. He's only given up 2 walks.
He should be about 60
runs. So, we're going to see how this turns out.
He should have been out of the inning at 60 pitches.
But at the moment, that's where we are with game 5. Game 5.
And
you guys are ahead of me. Did he get a homer?
And we are unfortunately at the moment, we are now tied at 5.
It's unbelievable.
And even Judge, he's got to go back and get that ball.
Yeah. It's just some really bad defensive plays. But we're tied 5-5 in the 5th. And this is how we're going to leave this episode. Stay tuned for another episode where we're going to go through all the football, the college football. We'll do NBA and NHL. We'll give you updates on the Yankees as we proceed through this. Guys, episode 135. Darren, want to close it out?
Absolutely. We're the Sports Kings from Queens. Darren here with Kevin and Gino. talk about the wonderful, wild, and wacky world of sports. Wacky world where the Yankees can blow a 5-run lead without giving up an earned run. Please follow us any way you can. Follow us on social media. We're putting up a bunch of clips. Please like them, subscribe to them, talk about them, share them, do whatever you can. Download the podcast anywhere you can get a podcast, whether it be an Apple product, Audio Boom, Spotify, whatever you like. And without any further ado, may your sports be with you.